evening, Vineland High School football fans. Welcome back. It is football season here as the Fighting Clan gets set for 4 straight road games. Week 0 kicks off in just a few moments. Kyle Bennett here, joined by my partner Rich Scarpa. Rich, it's great to be back. Football is in the air, and it's Vineland and St. Joe's Hammonton, a matchup we haven't seen in about 5 years. Last time it happened was at Gatone Stadium. Now here on the road as Vineland looks to go 1-0 on the season against an upstart St. Joe's squad.
Yeah, and here we have the national anthem. We'll quiet down for that for a moment. And a season that has a lot of really good skill players returning for Vineland. You know, the whole defensive secondary and linebackers, they're pretty much all back. Same guys on offense, but we have a brand new, we lost all 5 starting offensive linemen. So a brand new offensive line, a freshman starting at quarterback today. And taking on St. Joe's, you mentioned the last time playing against Jada Byers and all. But this is a team that even when they were at their best, there's a lot of games I've gone into halftime with over the last 30 years that we have a lead. We're down a score. We always tended to play tough, and they'd pull out at the end. Now, sometimes, you know, it didn't go that way, and there was a few that were really lopsided, especially Coach Russo's first year with some late scoring. But a new coaching staff here, brand new field, no more cow pasture, turf field at a new park here. Beautiful scoreboard, beautiful field, and we are ready to get underway as Vineland's going to return the opening kickoff. But they still need a chain crew as Xavion Diaz stands back to return it.
With Saquon Anderson, the other return man, 2 lethal return men back there for Vineland who can make a play at any moment. 2 very exciting players for this Fighting Clan roster will be keys to their success all season long.
So Vineland had a freshman starting at center that's out this week, should be back. They also have Clark coming back next week, and it was week 2. He came out of a game a little banged up, and we didn't see him again all year. An elite running back that had over 350 yards in 6 quarters last year before he went down to injury. But Vineland's offense is going to have to figure out what they can do successfully. I would assume the plan is going to be spread the field, get it to your guys in some space, allow that young offensive line and new, even if you're a little older, you're new to starting there, allow them some time. So it's going to be 1-2 throw, 1-2 throw, and try to get it out wide and maybe bang a little bit on the inside. Phoebus, a former lineman, now playing fullback and linebacker. So great off season for you. I know as a lineman, it's like, give me a guard around, coach, please, give me a guard around, coach. But now he's going to get to touch the ball. So as a former lineman, congratulations on that.
And you mentioned, you know, Vineland having a freshman out already just due to injury, should hopefully be back in the next couple of weeks. They have a freshman starting tonight on the line as well, Aiden Zinkgraf, who on Guzman's Gridiron coach talked about, is very, very excited about his development and the way that he's just been able to elevate himself through this system during the offseason, and I'm excited to watch him play as well. He'll be wearing number 27 for the Fighting Clan.
Shows you how much he can do. You get a number 27, then you start at right tackle.
As it'll be Saquon Anderson comes in to pick that one up, and he's got a hole. He's up at midfield, and Vineland's going to have pristine starting field position to kick off 2024. A great return by Saquon Anderson as he brings it up just past midfield, and what a way to reward a young offense and with a short field. Not to mention, you know, new offensive line. You also have a freshman starting at quarterback this season to kick things off for you. And I'm excited by what I saw, you know, in Friday's scrimmage. Elijah Calderon, the freshman, coming in at quarterback wearing number 11 for the Fighting Clan, as he lines up in shotgun, ready to take his first snap at the varsity level in a game that means something. Rolls out, looking to throw, gets taken down from behind.
Just a jailbreak on that left side. Calderon able to hold on to the football. But that's going to be a loss of about 5. Make it 6.
And that was some of the things that I picked up on, that Marcelino picked up on when we were doing our test run broadcast last Friday against Williamstown. The offensive line and Calderon need to be on the same page. They need to communicate. That is one of the biggest forms of success, is when your offensive line and your quarterback are on the same page throughout the entirety of the game. Sure, you're going to have moments where things don't go your way, but you got to be able to communicate, say, hey, I saw this happening here. I need you to pick up this block here, and really adjust as the game goes on, but they need to be one and the same when it comes to communication.
Well, it looks like Vineland will get 5 of those 6 back, making it a 2nd and 11. Up front for Vineland today at center, it's Japet DeVal. At right guard, Donnie St. Jean, who played a lot last year, and actually on the defensive side, he's got one of the tougher jobs as that end/tackle that he's going to be doing. Aiden Zinkraft at right tackle, Angel Moyner at left tackle, and Adane Navis Campos at left guard.
And it is Saquon Anderson to the bottom of your screen, lined up out wide. Calderon looking to pass. There is a flag on the play. Catch is made. A big hit. We'll see where the flag comes in, as Mark Mutcherson came up with that catch. It is against Vineland.
Procedure on Vineland. But then you just see, that time the line held up well. A little dump pass, and then there's 5 yards after the catch. And that's what Vineland wants to do, spread out this field and get their speed and agility in one-on-one matchups after the catch.
And Vineland has to spend a timeout here. Something going on the sideline with a jersey issue.
Well, we were talking about it. That was Aiden Zinkraft, 27, I believe.
He is listed on Max Preps as a tight end and linebacker, so that makes sense.
This is not the NFL where you can put on whatever you want. So they have to call a timeout to switch his jersey, and that was the penalty on the play, was an eligible receiver number. You know, anything 0 to 49 makes you an eligible number, so you're going to have to switch and put on them big boy numbers. So we are rooftop. Couple steep ladders. I mentioned my old partner, John Parentazzi, who of course we all miss Coach P. It would have been a par 4 get Coach up here, but he made it. I had to drop my shoulder and climb up. It's like a straight vertical. I think I got a couple years left till it's going to present trouble for me.
And I believe it's number 57 for Vineland checking in as they try to get the jersey on the back of Zinkraft.
All right, so we get 5 on the offside, give it back on the procedure with the bad jersey number.
Sorry, it wasn't 57, it is number 64, and that is Robbie Bono checking in for this play as Calderon launches one deep, and just overthrows Xavier Diaz. A difficult thing to do, knowing Xavier's speed and how he's able to kind of break away from his defenders, but a couple yards out of his reach and an incomplete there for Calderon.
Calderon showed some arm there, about 45 yards in the air, overthrowing the speedy Diaz.
And that's something we haven't traditionally seen from a Vineland quarterback in quite some time. Obviously, a few years ago, Danny Russo was able to move the ball down the field if he needed to with his arm, but it hasn't been the traditional mantra of Vineland's offense is to, hey, let the quarterback kind of sling it. I'm excited to see Calderon use his arm strength and kind of, rewrite the history books, if you will, and allow a Vineland quarterback to throw the ball a bit. Calderon is taken down. Big-time sack for the Wildcats. That's number 8 making the play.
So Wilson for St. Joe's gets a big sack. That's 2 sacks on that first drive. And what was interesting was the other times there was plenty of time to throw it. Another flag on Vineland. That's the 3rd of this first drive. And that great field position on the Diaz return is now for naught. Vineland's dropped 21 yards.
Quality punt there for Vineland. So it's going to roll inside the 40.
Mutcherson gets rid of it. It was weird. He had some pressure on him, and they said, stay off the kicker, and certainly the guy stopped that could have made a play to block it. But St. Joe's just happy to get the football back.
If I'm not mistaken, that sack by Julius Wilson, he was a member of this Fighting Clan team last year.
Ah, that's why it rung a bell. I'm like, did I teach a Julius Wilson? Oh, good pursuit and contain. Just enough to keep them going out wide.
And this Vineland defense is going to be their anchor this year. It's going to be as the defense goes, this team goes in the early going. The offense we mentioned is young. There's a lot of young, inexperienced varsity level players or players just playing in new positions. The defense has played together for much of their varsity careers. They are upperclassmen. They know how to win. Obviously last season going on that 4-game winning streak late in the year as this one's handed off, and a good stop there by the Vineland front. It's Noah Cruz who's going to make a name for himself kind of being in the middle of that Vineland defense at linebacker this year. Has really taken another step forward for this Fighting Clan roster. And Cliff Smith is super excited about just the way that he's going to be able to scheme this defense. So many players on this starting roster are versatile. You can put them in different positions and they'll succeed. So he can kind of mask this defense a bit and give you different looks that you're not prepared for.
Yeah, and just so agile.
Quarterback looking to pass.
Screen.
Nobody there.
As you mentioned, the different looks and everything. They could stand flat-footed on the line and still have deep half or deep third coverage.
Great first stint there for the Vineland defense as it's 4th and 6.
Do a breeze blowing in the face of St. Joe's. So Mutcherson's back, but he's standing at our own 26.
Ball snapped. Punter gets it away. Very nice punt. As Xavier Diaz will field it, breaks away from one tackler, makes his way up the sideline, stays on his feet, and gets to about the 40-yard line. Quality return there for Xavier Diaz, who's now rocking number 1 this season. hard to believe that he's already a senior.
Yeah, I can remember saying, that sophomore class, that junior class.
And he was part of that group of 4 or 5 freshmen that got called up from the freshman roster a few years ago.
And they were all the same. They were all skill guys. You know, they weren't linemen. And that's that experience over the years that they've had.
And Coach Guzman mentioned to me, having Xavion, having a Saquon Anderson, having a Mason Afanador on that defense, it is an extension of the coaching staff for them because they have been in this system for 4 years now. As this one's handed off to Diaz, he kind of gets tripped up on the turf there and taken down. But to have so much experience across the roster, too, and when you can throw a Xavion Diaz and a Mason Afanador and Saquon Anderson out on offense as well with a young O-line, with a freshman quarterback, you give yourself experience and, kind of just that leadership that you're looking for on a young offense to, rally the troops and get everybody ready to roll and find your way into the end zone every so often.
Let's take a look at that line this play.
Diaz in motion. Calderon hands it off. St. Joe's was all over that one.
Adani Navis Campos pulling on the play, makes his block, but the linebackers just filled a little quick as they had the interior line blocked, but a good fill by St. Joe's linebackers.
So 2nd and 14 now from the 36. 38, apologies, they just updated. It's 3rd and 12. Calderon rolling out, looking to pass, fires, and off the hands of the intended receiver, I believe was Ron Temple.
Yeah, kind of a little 4-yard slant when you need 12, running with the guy covering you on the inside into the flat where there's a person waiting. I don't know that should have been more on the seam, that they miscommunicated it, but I can remember no freshman played varsity back in the day, and your first start as a sophomore, being so nervous. I can only imagine being a quarterback.
Another quality punt from Mutcherson there. It will be returned and taken down just shy of the 40, or depending on the spot, right at the 40.
So back and forth we go. And this is going to be something that's going to take Vineland some time to figure out offensively. This is what we want to do. How can we get these matchups that we want? And it's like one play, oh, he's got time. The next play, he doesn't have a second. So scheming and figuring out how to possess the football. A false start on St. Joe's. But I was listening to Guzman's Gridiron, and we were just talking about, you were talking about the same thing. Like, you've got to figure out how we can control the football. Do we have enough up front to be able to hit inside A gaps for 3 or 4 yards to keep people honest? Or do we just fling it out? So the offense is going to be a work in progress. But this defense is the thing on the team. You've got experienced guys off the football here.
1st and 15 for St. Joe. Vineland ready to pounce. And Noah Cruz makes the tackle.
Well, Cruz on the tackle, but it was Jose Phoebus that scraped from the B gap, stretching it out. And then he comes up and makes the hit with Phoebus still stretching out wider. That was a great team play, spreading that out, not letting the back get up the field, and then your backers clean it up.
Yeah, Coach Guzman mentioned to me that Noah Cruz and Phoebus both had great weight room off-season training, really stepped up their game, and he's very excited for what they're going to bring to the table for both of them on defense, and obviously Phoebus going both ways, playing fullback and linebacker. He's very optimistic and intrigued about the transition he's made to be able to take on 2 new positions after being on the line last year. 2nd and 19 here. St. Joe's looking to pass. Donnie St. Jean, he heard his footsteps.
Flushes them out. So we'll still be behind the sticks, only a gain of about a yard or 2. So 3rd and long. So we hear in the background our Vineland High School marching clan.
Under the direction of my good friend Justin Feliciano. Nothing beats the Hay song.
Yeah.
It gets you going for football season.
The horse on the way in is pretty nice. 3rd and long now.
And more dirty laundry on the field.
Kick them when they're up, kick them when they're down. Give us dirty laundry. Another 5 going back. Well, neither offense has been able to do much, but Vineland did have that deep shot, almost hit it. Vineland has had a few yards in there, and their offense looks a little bit better than St. Joe's at this point in time. As St. Joe's, I don't think they've tried but once to run the ball in between the tackles, as both teams are kind of mirroring each other in their attempts offensively.
And I'll add on top of that, too, is we have new coaches at the helm for the special teams unit this year. Special teams returns have been intriguing so far with the opportunities that they've gotten. That's going to be huge for this team, putting 2 dynamic playmakers as St. Joe's snaps this one, screen pass to the outside, and taken down finally. Broke away from that first tackle, but taken down. Great stop there by the Vineland defense.
Well, just for those of you saying, why didn't he call my name? I just did that. We found out tonight there was a switch from NJ.com for our rosters to Max Preps, and I didn't bring a printer. So we're a little understaffed with that now, trying to do the best we can for you.
Initial contact was Jose Phoebus as his punt gets away. And we picked up by Diaz, brings it up just past midfield. And we've got Mason Afanador and Julius Wilson kind of tussling a bit there.
So we've gone back and forth a few times. We're down to 3:44 in the first. Vineland pretty much starting right where their first drive was. So nice job defensively.
And I think that's going to be the key here for Vineland's offense in this game so far from what we've seen is if you get that good field position, we've seen, resemblance of an offense that can move the ball down the field, give them a short field to work with, and then defensively, if you're able to come away with a turnover, that could be the tipping point in this game. As Calderon moves Diaz in motion, looking to pass, fires, and it's off the hands of Mark Mutcherson, incomplete. Mutch is going to want to have that one back for sure. He knows he should have corralled that one in. But a good look for a young offense, and this is something I talked about Friday night against Williamstown. When you get those good looks, it builds the confidence there that, hey, we're capable of doing this. Now we just have to execute it to the proper degree. Obviously, they didn't come away with that one there, but now I feel like with a young quarterback and a veteran receiver, Mutcherson's going to say, hey, give me that one again, and I'm going to corral it in for you.
And Calderon, when he's not under immense pressure, has been pretty accurate with the football.
2nd and 10 here for Calderon. Looking to pass, he's firing, and off the mark.
I put the jinx on him.
Ron Temple was the receiver in that area.
As mentioned, Ronald Temple out for a couple years and decided to come back out and play again. It's been a nice addition, and he kind of fits in with everything we're talking about with D-backs and linebackers, what we have, and that speed and agility. It just is another piece we can use. Last year we watched it Schwed get 120 yards one game, and then he doesn't see a ball for 2 games, and it's a Fanador's turn or whoever else's turn. Little confusion on this one. I say confusion whenever you see 2 players talking on the way out of the huddle. So this could be something a little bit neat.
Temple, the man in motion, a Fanador to the bottom of your screen. Calderon fires, and it's off the mark. Xavion Diaz, the intended receiver there.
So Vineland sends the punt team in. Vineland throwing it a lot today.
And I think that's going to be the fun for everybody watching at home, everybody on this sideline, and for us, too, watching the game every week that I talked about with Coach on Guzman's Gridiron, which you can tune into every single week on the Underground Sports Philadelphia Podcast Network. Wherever you get your podcast, just search Guzman's Gridiron. It is on both the Underground Sports Philadelphia podcast feed and a brand new RSS feed that just has Guzman's Gridiron, and it can be watched in a video form on the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. That is a great punt there from Mark Mutcherson as that takes a healthy roll all the way down the field.
Surprised that got in the end zone. It looked like we had a step on it.
As the defense will take over, but talking to Coach on the podcast this week, the offense, it's going to be fun to watch them kind of just grow together where they are so young. It's a lot of just varsity inexperience, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. You're going to be able to learn and go through those growing pains together as the season goes on. So, and what better way for this team to kind of grow together than 4 straight road games, being on those bus trips together, kind of being those road dogs together for the first month of the season before your first home game.
Well, Vineland did down it at the 2 or 3. I misread the signal from the official. So great field position for Vineland. There's a run up the middle, and there's half the Vineland team on that stop.
It's a great stop. Jose Phoebus in there. Noah Cruz in the mix.
And as you were talking about growing together with that offense, the other thing is if we're going to spread the ball and throw it, there's going to be some 3 and outs. There's going to be a 3rd and 12, but there's also going to be a 3rd and 15 that you hit a 5-yard slant for a touchdown. There's going to be big plays created with this offense, but we're not going to watch, as of now, a team grind the ball up and down the field.
And there is so much speed and athleticism on the outside with those skill position groups. And that doesn't even continue to talk about the elite talent at running back that this team possesses as well. There's a lot of opportunity to create big plays. This one's handed off.
Great
Another
job.
great stop. And that's a great way to make life easy for a freshman quarterback, to have elite skill and athleticism at your skill positions.
Aiden Barriento, one of the ones involved on that one. Yeah, and you know what? The offense hasn't moved it. Great punt. Down them inside. 3rd and 9. You hold them here, you're going to get the ball around the 40 at worst coming back in here. So that's providing some stability for the offense. And the defense is saying, oh, we'll take care of you.
3rd and 10 from the 4-yard line, according to the scoreboard, is Mason Afanador.
Nobody's over the slot.
And there's a flag.
Procedure on St. Joe's. Yeah, but number 4 was in the slot and nobody was over him.
Those tuning in, Mason Afanador last season wore number 25. He is now number 9. So some jersey number switch-ups to pick up on, as well as Saquon Anderson, who is the defender to the bottom of your screen, wearing number 5 this season. Rolling out, and the pass is in the direction of the Vineland cheerleaders.
She could have made a play on that one. So short distance to punt from here.
And I always talk about this, from being a former kicker myself and being in situations where it's not ideal. The punts that are inside the 10-yard line, where you're punting inside your own end zone, are the most difficult special teams plays to make. Not only for, your line and everybody on that unit, but for the punter themselves. There's so much added pressure there. So when you see a punter get those plays off, it's an elite play because there is so much added pressure where you don't want to take that extra step out of bounds and be Dan Orlovsky and step out of bounds there and cause your team some points there. There's a scramble there, and speaking of out of bounds.
Well, that's just it. You're usually 14 to 16 off the ball, and now you're playing 9 off the ball, all the way in the back of the end zone. And Vineland very aggressive defensively. I was waiting to tell you, well, listen, you got the ball right there, and they're going to kick it to you. Leave them the heck alone. Don't hit them. But Vineland puts some pressure on and comes out with the 2 points, kind of like last year when I'm like, I just kneel on it. Let's go to hat. Boom. And then you get back in the game. Aggressive play call by the Vineland special teams and defense gets Vineland on the board 2-0, and we'll be getting the football.
I believe Mason Afanador was in on that play as well as some others, but great awareness there, and that shows you the skill of Mason Afanador. He's an elite just athlete out on the field. You can put him anywhere positionally, and he will be able to succeed for you, but his vision is one of his best assets. He sees the field like not many high school athletes see the field, and he just has his head on a swivel, and he's locking in on what his task is, and he's ready to pounce at any given moment. You can put him at receiver, you can put him at safety, you can put him at corner, you can put him anywhere on the field, and just like that, kind of a hybrid gunner position, comes in, makes the play, and you got 2 points on the board.
And now the dangerous play. Vineland's going to be catching this at their own 40. And then there's still time in the first half with the wind at their back to throw. The wind's kind of died down. I don't know how much it'll affect anything under 30 yards now. But Vineland in great shape.
This one is booted and will be returned by Saquon Anderson, who brings it up past midfield, up past the 40, 35, 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5, and pushed out of bounds just shy of 6 points. But in the red zone goes Saquon Anderson. And there we go again, Rich. We talked about it earlier. The return men on this team with Saquon Anderson and Xavion Diaz, and they're just pure speed and athleticism, can make that returner position this year for Vineland so dynamic and such a piece of valuable point scoring for this team.
And that wasn't, oh, they kicked it to Saquon and he ran really fast and got there. No, he jogged, waiting for his blocks to set up, waiting for an opening, showed great patience and vision. And then the ability to break a couple tackles and then outrun a defender all the way down inside the 5. First and goal at the 3 for Vineland. 52 seconds here to go in the first quarter.
Let's see if Calderon can get his first varsity touchdown here.
He's got Omar Davis standing near him. Davis kind of a big fellow. Let's see if they try to do something with him.
Man in motion, Calderon hands it off and into the end zone for the touchdown, Omar Davis.
Well, I expected to see Omar Davis just lower his pad level and plow forward, but he showed some great vision and a cutback within that 3 yards to get in the end zone. He's batting 1,000, 1 touch, 1 touchdown. Leave him on a high note, Costanza. I'm out of here.
And that will bring in the kicking unit here, and for the first time in 4 years, it is not Colin Greif. The golden leg has graduated. It is Joseph Morello taking over the kicking duties for Vineland to start this season, wearing number 40. And I'll have more on the kickers in just a moment after Morello boots this one. And it is no good, didn't get under it enough. But Vineland still has an 8-0 lead with 47 seconds to go in the first quarter. And Rich, it is so weird to have a new kicker at the helm. And I was talking to a bunch of people who are in the know with Vineland football, and we've had 3 presidencies worth of just elite level high school kicking, going all the way back to Robert Kling having Henry Garton, who is now one of your special teams and kicking coaches this year for the Fighting Clan. Very excited for Henry to have that opportunity. And then you have 4 years of Colin Greif, who goes down as one of the best kickers Vineland has ever seen. And now you have a new era of kicking, and you're trying to continue just that trend of just producing high-level kickers. And it is fascinating that that has been one of the strengths of Vineland's successes over the last 12 years.
Well, last year, 3-0 over Pennsauken.
It was a game winner.
And the thing is, we talk about having great kickers. They didn't just come off the soccer field and could kick a ball. These guys are going to private lessons hours after hours, working down in Mainland and working on their kicking and making it an asset for this team, as compared to for decades where it's like, all right, Kyle, you can kick it pretty good. Go ahead. Let's Kyle, kick it. You know, and we have kickers, not guys that kick the ball. But then again, there's some tough shoes to fill when you're looking for the fourth.
That'll be a penalty there as that one's kicked out of bounds.
That's one thing I'm not sure of. Like, drive the ball because you have athletes in space. If that's what you do on offense, that's how your defense defends. They still should be plus plays kicking to other athletes for us.
St. Joe's will take over on offense. Now trailing 8-0 as Vineland picked up a safety, thanks to Mason Afanador. And then Omar Davis with a big-time touchdown to give Vineland the 8-0 lead after Saquon Anderson with a dynamic return following the safety. 1st and 10 from the 35. Ball snapped, handed off, and boom, a big-time tackle there by number 65 for the Fighting Clan.
That Lopez. Brandon Badola Lopez, the sophomore. This is hard. I put my glasses on, I can't see the field. I take them off, I can't see the phone to get the numbers. Oh, to be young. So a loss of about 4 on the play.
And I think St. Joe's is just going to let this one ride out. And that is the end of the first quarter with your Fighting Clan up 8-0 here on the road against St. Joe's Hammonton. We're going to take a quick break, but we'll be back right when the second quarter gets going right here on the Vineland Public Schools YouTube channel. And welcome back, everybody. Second quarter action about to get underway here in Hammonton as the St. Joe's Wildcats hosting our Fighting Clan, who are up 8-0 on the hometown squad here. Kyle Bennett, Rich Scarpa with you. And Rich, very quality end to that first quarter for Vineland scoring-wise. And we've seen the spurts, we've seen the production there, and hopefully it just continues here as St. Joe's looking to pass. Scrambles, fires, and off the hands of the intended receiver there.
Well, a little confusion on that one. They had 3 backs for the first time. They look like 3 fast slot receivers, and they're all talking, and it looks like they're going to keep somebody in and try to establish that matchup with their wide receiver, trying to take a big shot. But right now, St. Joe's in negative yards. They don't have a first down, and they're trying to figure out what to do. They just don't have the defense that Vineland had and the special teams on the return game to create the opportunities Vineland has had. Vineland's offense still trying to find their way too, but you got to love the touchdown run and say, oh, maybe we can pound once in a while in there to hold some backers to get our skills open. So big third down here, 3rd and about 13.
Looking to pass screen there on the outside, and not much there afterwards. They do pick up some yardage there, but it'll be 4th down for St. Joe's, and Vineland looking to extend their lead as they look to get the ball back here. Up 8-0, courtesy of Mason Afanador recording a safety, and then Saquon Anderson with a brilliant punt return that set Vineland up in the red zone, and Omar Davis cashed in for the first Vineland touchdown of 2024.
What are you going to do with this punt now if you're St. Joe's? I mean, Vineland's only moving it through this, but if you kick it out of bounds, they're at their own 40 to get started. Oh, there's a hold. Oh, my gosh.
That was a big-time hold on Mason Afanador as Xavion Diaz brings this up past midfield to the 40. And there is a flag on the play. We'll see what this is all about.
Mason Afanador just rode his block out of bounds and totally pancaked. So now this is what really stinks. Like if this happens to be on Vineland, because there was a blatant hold that stopped a block punt.
On Mason Afanador, no less, and was able to come down here opposite side of the field and make that play.
This is where I got a mute button. I can hit it and start yelling at the official. That's crazy. You know, the one thing is you saw that one. You go over and say, stop. I missed that. And instead of Vineland ball at St. Joe's 20, now they get a ticky-tack penalty, put him at St. Joe's 49. The officials kind of called that no hold and that penalty as if the score was 40-0. And this is a one-score game, and you got to keep calling it tight.
No less, that should have been offsetting penalties if you're going to call that at the end of the day and kind of just have it set up shop in a neutral spot, but no less at the 50-yard line pretty much. This one's handed off, and
boy, nice open field tackle by St. Joe's. Well, we got another flag. Let's see if we try to balance it out and give us a few yards here.
Player down for Vineland is number 3, and that is George Figueroa III, freshman running back for Vineland. It's another player Coach Guzman was talking to me about this week that he's very intrigued about as a freshman, and a lot of these freshmen who are playing tonight really earn their spots. You know, that you don't just get given spots as a freshman, obviously, but they really showcase their talents all throughout the offseason, all throughout training camp, and really made a name for themselves to be a part of this varsity squad and be starters for this team.
Yeah, it doesn't look like he's able to put a ton of weight on that.
Hopefully it's nothing too serious there for George.
Well, you always hope you got a cramp or a little thigh bruise. Pushing on his thigh a little bit. All right, let's.
So it'll be Omar Davis now in the backfield for Vineland. He scored the first touchdown in this game. in that first quarter. Diaz in motion. It gets handed off to Diaz, and he's taken down from behind.
A really nice play as the block was set up. Just too fast on the inside at 6 for St. Joe's. So Vineland behind the sticks. It's going to make it 3rd and about 11.
And for me, on that down there, I don't know if you would agree there, but I would have liked to have seen Calderon kind of call a play where it gives him short passing, you know, to make it a more manageable 3rd down for him as a freshman quarterback, obviously, but just making it easier to move the ball down the field and move it in chunks rather than, hey, it's now 3rd down, now I got to try to sling it down the field. Make it easier for your freshman quarterback a little bit there. As he rolls out, pressure coming. He's got to get rid of it. He fires, and it's complete. That's to Ron Temple. He bounces off the defender, makes a move upfield, and picks up a wonderful 1st down for the Fighting Clan. Welcome back to the varsity football field, Ron Temple.
Well, Calderon had pressure on his back and just kept running and delivered it. We were talking before about trying to get wide, but handing it and getting wide on the play before, maybe a little pitch or maybe a little throw like you're saying, because the line's not able to hold up that long.
That is a great precision throw there. He threaded that needle perfectly, did Calderon, as we have a timeout on the field. And for Ron Temple to come up with that catch and then bounce off of his defenders, stay on his feet, keep his feet moving. It's very much like how anyone who's breaking down football talks about a running back, just keeping their feet moving when they make a run. That's exactly what Ron Temple did there as he got that first contact.
Little Super Tecmo Bowl, if you're able to remember that. But no, because if he gets tackled where he's hit, we're at 4th and 4. You know, instead, fresh set of downs here at the 31-yard line, heading in.
And you're talking about a player who has not played varsity football in 2 seasons and is now back and makes a play like that like he never missed time.
Now I want to give the ball to Omar again, because I think his size, the linebackers for St. Joe's are flying all over the field, but they appear to be a little undersized. And to have Davis, who 200 pounds worth, coming downhill with low pad set is a tougher tackle for the smaller linebackers. I mean, there's not a lot of soft spots on these big guys to get to. Coach Guzman expressing how Davis has this low pad center, how he's not pleasant to hit or tackle, and he's back there now.
Calderon misses the snap there. He's got to make a play on a whim, fires deep, and overthrows the intended receiver there. And Vineland sideline not happy with the referees there. The intended receiver was sophomore Caden Chestnut.
I was thrilled with the poise and a flick of the wrist to make something out of nothing, where I thought, all right, now he's got to run it. He's going to lose 3. There's nothing he can do. And then to get rid of it, the heads-up play on the first drive, he got stuck with it rolling out. This time he gets rid of it, and they almost make a play down the field and almost draw a penalty on the late hit.
Which, again, with the referee right there, you as a referee have to be conscious of that happening, and you have to throw that flag. 2nd and 10 here. Calderon fires.
Oh, I thought he had it off the deflection.
That's a good heads-up play by Mutcherson. He wasn't initially trying to catch that ball. He knew he was in double coverage there. Didn't want the defender to come up with the ball, kind of batted it down a little bit. Keeps the drive alive for Vineland.
This is where last year we'd say, well, we got to get like 5 more yards, and then we could kick a field goal.
And the running back that was in on that play was number 24, freshman Carlton Thomas. He remains in the backfield there with Calderon. 3rd down, Calderon looking to pick up the first as he fires deep. And it's caught for a touchdown by Xavier Diaz. Agent Uno strikes for his first touchdown of the year.
Well, that's the same thing as last play. Off a deflection, I thought we had it, and this time gets it done.
Xavier Diaz, a core member of this Fighting Clan roster, comes up with a big-time play in the end zone and gives Vineland a 14-0 lead.
So Morello's set to kick it. His first one just looked like, all right, don't overdo it. Let's just put my foot to it. Yeah, he took a little too much off.
He almost just didn't get enough wind-up time for his leg to follow through.
I got to find where my car is over there. Make sure.
Ball spotted, flags are down. And the call's offsides on the home team. And Vineland's going to go for 2 here. I like the aggressive play calling here. You get the penalty that puts you in better field position to get more points on the board. Strike while the iron's hot. Go for it and give yourself a 16-0 lead if you convert, and if you don't, you're still up by 2 touchdowns.
Well, I can relax now. I was wondering when they made the ball ready for play because I'm like, full change and all, but he just blew it when we all got out there, not early. So there's time to get it going, and there's our big boy Omar.
Calderon in shotgun. Takes a snap. He's going to keep it. Runs up the gut and into the end zone. 4-2. Vineland now up 16-0 with 9:04 remaining in the first half. And Rich, this has been fun. This has been a dynamic young offense that are trying things that we necessarily haven't seen from Vineland's offense in the past, and that's a credit to second-year offensive coordinator Dwayne Hendricks, who has come in and is really just getting creative with this young talent on offense.
Well, you said that perfectly, because this deep into a game, you know, even though we're only in the second quarter, it's like, oh, we can't get outside. Oh, we can't throw it. Oh, we can't do this. What can we go to that? But we're throwing everything out there, and stuff is starting to hit.
You know, I remember the last time I worked a Thursday night football game was when Coach Hendricks was the head coach at Cumberland Regional, and this offense is showing a little bit of signs of what they were able to do and kind of spreading the ball around and moving it in different ways that, you know, similar to what Coach Smith is doing on defense. He's masking certain plays here where you don't expect it to go to the intended receiver there, but ends up going. And this has been very fun to watch for Vineland on offense, and when you have a defense as prominent as they do, it's going to make the full encapsulation of the game be tons of fun to watch.
Well, running the ball is a lot of fun, and you can dominate people with it. But when you can attack with 5 different receivers on any play, like as a defensive coordinator, it'll drive you crazy. One guy slips, one guy bites on a move.
Good kick there from Morello. And a nice tackle there by the Fighting Clan. It's number 42, Barrius Hill. And Vineland's defense will set up shop with 8:58 to go until halftime, leading 16-0. And if you're Coach Guzman right now, seeing the way that all phases of the game have kind of flowed pretty much how you expected it to, you've got to feel really good right now in this second quarter and just hoping you can continue to add on and continue to develop throughout the rest of this game.
Yeah, you've got more from your offense than you probably really were hoping for early in this game, and it was going to be the defense holding you and carrying you, and they did halfway through the first quarter, but now the offense has come alive. Defense yet to give up a first down.
And outside of a missed kick, your special teams has been fantastic for you throughout this game, especially in the return game. As screen pass again on the outside, a hold happening there. Once again, not called, as Xavier Diaz was being held by the receiver.
Well, St. Joe's executed that perfectly and picked up 2.5, 3 yards because of Vineland's closing speed. And that's not easy to do 3 times to get a first down. You know, a lot has to go right with that. They've tried to run a little bit, but hasn't really gone for them.
2nd and 7 from the 31-yard line here for St. Joe's. Some miscommunication there, it seems like, because they're still talking. Ball snapped, and up the middle is Noah Cruz. Breaks up the play. It's fired. And Mason Afanador was a little stumble step there, was unable to come back towards the ball, but great pressure there from Noah Cruz, and he's going to be dynamic for this defense all season long in the middle of that defense at the linebacker position. I'm really looking forward to a huge year from number 8 for the Fighting Clan.
Oh, and a great job by St. Joe's quarterback avoiding that, rolling out, and then getting rid of the ball. So 3rd and 7. Going to fling it out to the short side here. 2 backs this time, trying the power of football.
I formation. This one's handed off. And we'll see where they spot it, but there is a flag.
Looks like they're going to get Vineland on a late hit.
So in turn, that will be St. Joe's first down of the game with 8:38 to go in the 2nd quarter.
And probably going to push them into Vineland territory. It should be at the 48 of Vineland by the time they're done with this. What are you doing waddling around with the football? Yeah.
Coach Smith not too happy. He wasn't even sure what had happened.
So a 16-yard penalty assessed.
The biggest gain for St. Joe's in this game so far. St. Joe's under center. Screen pass yet again, and it's off the mark. And Mark Mutcherson was there in coverage.
Everton Donaldson, nose tackle. It's just occupying blockers up front and giving these linebackers free run. Like, he's not getting a big push, but they're not moving him from that spot. If you watch that battle, he's got a big boy across from him. Nice job that time, Donaldson. Just a gain of a couple. Yeah, teams do it one of 2 ways. You put your 200, 210-pound, athletic, fast, strong guy at nose and have him read and slide, or you get a big boy that can give you a little bit of push and tackle both those A-gaps. And with Vineland's linebackers, you're looking more to get 2 guys hitting Donaldson and freeing up a backer. And even the other backer, he's got a running back coming. Like, you can still fill and clog that up. So 3rd down just that quick, 3rd and 8 for St. Joe's. Vineland sending pressure from the top. And Donaldson right there. It's kind of nice. That's the one thing I like about switching from play-by-play to color or commentary is I can take a play off from the football and just take a look. Coach Guzman talking about Donaldson before the game. And it was like he gets a standoff, but can he get a push? And that time he slid perfectly. Now, if I'm the linebacker behind him, I'm like, bro, I got him. Like, you took my tackle.
Now, under 7 minutes to go until halftime here in Hammonton, as your Fighting Clan have a 16-0 lead on St. Joe's.
And it's 4th down now for St. Joe's.
4th and 5, and they will line up to go for it. Watch that football. They do snap it. Pressure, fires, and off the hand of Saquon Anderson. Got some nice elevation there, but
You know what my coach would have told me on that? Why are you trying to intercept it? It was 4th down. You get the ball up here. That was when I was 12. The game is so different. Now I'm sure you're like, get it and get some field and run with it. Like, we just played everything by the book because I guess we weren't loaded with very good athletes. You know, it was more of a, no offense to schools that just have tradition and run the certain things. But, you know, Delsey up to this year. Now Coach Volpe's new head coach switching the offense from the wing T. St. Joe or Hammonton, Clearview, you know, just doing the things right and seeing where you end up. But 1st and 10, Fighting Clan right by midfield.
potentially their worst starting field position of this game as this one's handed off to Omar. A good run there by Omar Davis. Doing a throw. Congratulations out there to Coach Volpe, taking over at Delsey, former offensive coordinator here at Vineland.
And the idea, Guzman getting into Omar a little bit because he wants Omar north and south. And Omar finished that run beautifully, but 2 more yards just heading up. And we talked about that with running backs last year a lot. Down in distance, got to know it. I thought for sure when he started going laterally, he wasn't going to be able to finish forward, but he did. A great job finishing.
2nd and 3 from midfield. Diaz in motion. Handed off.
That away.
Omar Davis.
Yep.
Said, I got you, coach.
Omar's coming.
First down for Vineland.
Oh, my gosh. And if you're able to do that and have a back bully people on the inside, and then when you get Clark back, now you're really in a tizzy. I can't say the other word. But, like, now everybody's got to respect that run, and now you pop it out wide. You know, the backers are going to read step up and try to fill. And we've really not had that powerful physical back since running back coach Davon Seymour has been running. I mean, Pacheco had speed and agility, but not somebody
He wasn't the Pacheco of NFL.
Yeah, it's true.
This one's launched.
Show me that catch sign. Put your arms down. There we go.
And Xavion Diaz, once again, ladies and gentlemen, Agent Uno's coming to play today.
Oh, beautiful. Locates it, comes back, keeps a foot in, gets underneath it. Just wanted one of the officials to show me catch, and they kind of just felt each other out and said, yeah, it was a catch.
I have loved the coaching staff just giving Calderon the ability to just use his arm strength and allow him to move the ball down the field and saying, hey, you're the man in charge. We don't care that you're a freshman. Show us that you have the ability to move the ball, and he has done just that. And so far, what a debut for Elijah Calderon at the varsity level for Vineland.
False start on Vineland's going to push him back 5. Well, Vineland's cleaned it up on the offensive side. I think there was 3 penalties in the first 5 minutes on the offense. Well, 1 was jersey number, like nonsense, but 2 procedure penalties.
Some week 0 jitters, if you will.
And we've seen much worse week 0 jitters since we've been together.
Handed off to Omar. Solid run there by Omar Davis.
Omar Jr. So we're down under 4 minutes to go here in the first half. Vineland on the move at the 16-yard line, and it's 2nd and 10.
You bring up Coach T.O., the running back coach here for Vineland, and comparing Omar there with that physicality. Coach mentioned today on this week's episode of Guzman's Gridiron is Omar Davis takes that carry there, but St. Joe's is all over it. He said we haven't had that physicality and just that banging up the middle type of runner since another Vineland running back, that was Naheem Anderson.
Yeah, and Naheem just became a running back his senior year, so he wasn't really a runner. Like, he was aggressive and physical, but his pad level was up high. And there were spots you could get to him, and he'd still punish you. But when you compare it to Seymour, where there's nothing to hit that's soft, there's no belly, there's no thigh, it's a knee, there's no chest, it's an elbow. And Anderson did fantastic for not being a running back doing it that senior year.
3rd and 10 for Vineland. Nice fake there and throws, underthrown.
It's one of the first ones off the mark. He just held that a little too long. It's kind of like when a pitcher just throws 155 feet once in a while. We're going to give a field goal a shot here.
This will be Morello's first field goal attempt of the season.
Looks like it should be about a 31-yarder. .32. Let's go, Morello. Let's get this. And he is on the right hash.
Ball snap, spotted, kick is up, and it's wide left. So that one kind of spun horizontally.
Yeah, you get that shot in, get another shot. That one just pushed it a little bit too far, trying to get it through the middle. So with that missed field goal, it's 2:22 on the clock, 16-0 Fighting Clan. They've held St. Joe's to 1 first down.
As you look down at the field here from our view, Coach Russo on the sideline with Coach Guzman. Just over the head of Mark Mutcherson there. He almost made a play on that to deflect it.
So a gain of 9 on that one.
Their biggest non-penalty induced gain of the game so far.
First down, St. Joe. The field's kind of dark even with the lights on.
This one's handed off. Nice tackle there for Vineland. Phoebus was in that scrum.
Yeah, Phoebus got to turn him back in. He's really played well out there on that edge at that tackle end spot. Excuse me, at that outside backer.
Looking to pass, another screen, and it's off the hands of the intended receiver. Incomplete.
So the clock will stop. It'll be 3rd and about 7 with 49 seconds to go. St. Joe's with a long way to go, and I don't think they want to punt it back to Vineland either.
Especially with how well Saquon Anderson and Xavier Diaz have been in the return game so far tonight.
Well, I was going to say I think they're going to run it, but I keep it back in now with them.
Looking to pass. They're firing deep. And it's out of bounds and a flag.
He was out of bounds.
That's unbelievable.
He bumped into him reaching up for the ball while they both are standing on the out of bounds.
It wasn't a catchable ball to begin with.
Well, why the heck everybody's going that far? This ain't the NFL. Move that huddle back. Vineland, get up there.
Coach Ryan Shelton is not happy.
Playing too much Madden, going up to the spot of the foul. So just over midfield at the 49, 45 seconds to go. Both teams with 2 timeouts left.
Wide open is the receiver for St. Joe's. Their biggest connection on the evening.
That's Temple coming up with the stop.
And St. Joe's calls a timeout here. And you never want to blame the game and circumstances on the referees here, but if St. Joe's inevitably does find a way to score here, that's all because of the referees making a consequential call there that alters the stakes of the game.
You know, and that's a big call on an uncatchable ball that's out of bounds that we just reached up to tip it and made contact with the guy. We were going for the football, so definitely not a foul. But then you're going to call that tight when you can get clotheslined and strangled on a play. You know, I don't mind a little bit of a late hit. That was more of a safety thing. You got there a half a second late, you know.
A lot of the big penalties that have been called so far tonight have gone against Vineland.
Good point.
Most of those penalties should not have been called.
And there's not been any the other way.
Right.
Like the right tackle's been starting early almost every play for them.
Another hold here as this one's launched down the field, and Xavier Diaz goes through his arms there. He knows he should have had that one. And Coach Guzman saw that hold happening down here and is just beside himself.
The thing is, like, if you're engaged and the ball comes your way and you're being held, it's like, eh. But when you beat your guy on the first or second step and he's got you hooked for 5 of them, and you're still putting pressure on the quarterback, that's why I say you got to draw the penalty, and he did everything he could. You've got to get a press, get a little bit of a release, and he did all that. And
as a referee that's standing right there, you have to be aware of this happening. It's been going on all game, and you haven't called a single one. That's an issue on my book. Noah Cruz brings down the quarterback. Fantastic play by Noah Cruz.
Well, he just outstretched, trips him up. Last time out for St. Joe's being called. 18 seconds on the clock, 3rd and about 15. And it's been Donnie St. Jean, that left defensive tackle / end spot, just really getting off the ball so much quicker than the right tackle for St. Joe's that has put him in peril. Well, this time he takes an inside rush, gives up that outside containment, and then fortunately the speed from the inside to make the play. As an Eagles fan and going to games and watching, and Hassan Reddick was awesome, but Hassan Reddick also crashed down to B-gaps every time on a rush and couldn't contain the outside. You got to rush outside in on most coverages that you have. So he's beating the offensive player badly, but he's got to once in a while get to the outside on him. Like, not now when you're at that hash mark, so they're not going to roll over your side, but make sure you know who has contained, because if not for that burst of speed. But you know, we worry about new defensive line, and St. Jean's been dominating up there. Donaldson's been very solid himself. in Zincraft in his new number. I haven't called him because they haven't done anything to his side.
18 seconds to go, 3rd and 15 from the 33. Quarterback for St. Joe, muffed snap there, and
Boom. Shalak lock boom.
as everyone at home who's as online as I am, bring the boom like the Costco guys.
Well, they spiked the ball on 4th down. There's 1 second left. They tried to down it on 4th. We're going to let it go. Offense. There we go. Well, fortunately, there's not a minute left for St. Joe's. I mean, it's one play you're giving up. You know, quarterback trying to do the right thing, tries it. You lose track of the downs. So Vineland will have a shot here.
They put 2 seconds on the game clock.
And that's something like when you're here and you see it go to 0, you think it's 0, but normally we're in a booth and we have the official timekeeper, and then please put it back up to, you know, and he'll stop it. He'll call down to them to put the time back on. Beautiful field. I just think we need a little more light. Is that just me getting old, or do you feel it too?
No, it does feel a little ominous.
All right.
Calderon takes the knee, and that will do it for the first half here in Hammonton. A brilliant first half for your Fighting Clan as they go into halftime leading 16-0 over the hometown St. Joe's Wildcats. We'll be back for the start of the second half. Don't go anywhere. You're watching Thursday Night Football on VPS. And welcome back, everybody. It is second half action here in Hammonton as your Fighting Clan have a 16-0 lead over St. Joe's Hammonton. Kyle Bennett, Rich Scarpa here on the call with you as Vineland kicking off to start this third quarter, and St. Joe's will start with the football as they get a nice return here up past the 40. And Mark Mutcherson makes the tackle. So Vineland's defense will start this drive here, trying to prevent any movement for St. Joe's as they have a 2-touchdown lead here.
And the defense was stellar in the first half. Up to that last 2-minute drive had held St. Joe's to 1 first down. So let's see if Vineland can settle back in and settle back down. Of course, big pass interference penalty and real nice run up the middle. So 2 backs this time, along with the quarterback for St. Joe's on 1st and 10 at the 40.
Ball snapped, it's handed off. Running back stays on his feet, nice run there, but Vineland makes the stop.
Well, he had a few guys hanging on to him. He finished that run really nice up the middle. Coach Smith working over the official along with Coach Shelton. That's the line judge on the near side. Not quite sure what they're seeing.
And there's a flag.
Nice open field tackle, but there is a flag, and so the conversation between Coach Shelton and Smith with the official has got the flag for illegal formation, so that catch of just about a first down is going to be moved back, making it 2nd and 11 for St. Joe. Well, they overload the short side of the field here. Look for a run down the bottom.
Little trips bunch action. And it will be a pass. And it's off the hands of the intended receiver, incomplete.
Talk about flooding an area. You're on the near hash. You put 3 wideouts there, a tight end, just tackle on the other side. Not a lot of room to do much. Even if you catch it, it's a gain of 3.
It's like playing Tetris, trying to get rid of all the spaces when you have that one cube that's in the middle that can fit something.
But if it works, it's that great feeling when you get that long
yeah.
piece and it just goes down and it's like boom. I'm ready to get back to school next week. I've been playing Tetris, loading trailers and stuff this summer, so be a nice change. So 3rd and 11.
St. Joe's been going with this I formation look a bit tonight as they look to pass. And bringing the boom is Mark Mutcherson.
Loss of about 5.
Great tackle there by Mutch.
Well, the way that play is designed is it was executed perfectly. You got one guy to beat, but that guy was right in your face when you caught it. Great closing speed. Way to get across that line of scrimmage and not give the back/receiver a moment to get his feet under him. Now Mutcherson's going to go back and try to bring this one back as we're at 10 minutes to go here in the 3rd. The first drive, minus 7 yards for St. Joe.
Botched the reception there, and St. Joe's, as Mark Zumoff would say, turned garbage into gold, but we do have some flag action at the top of the screen there.
What do you think? The offense for, there isn't a Philadelphia shove. You can't push the running back.
Vineland's players on the field are indicating this is against St. Joe's.
So, personal foul, not quite sure what the foul was, but that was in the scrum we had over there about the 50.
Making my way downtown.
And I'm homebound. All right. Back to punt again. Mutcherson back at his own 40. Where's that back judge? We're running out of time. Let's go. Shake that hand. Watch yourself. Oh, false start.
And Mutcherson will return this one.
Ah, that was the block you needed back there.
Beautiful. And more flags fly in as Mutcherson brings us to the end zone. But we will see
2 fouls on Vineland. So we got a block in the back first. Here comes the 3rd flag. So the block in the back, the St. Joe's player had position, and Vineland just rode him from behind. Not a physical foul, but a block in the back. that was called. Then one of the Vineland players shoved St. Joe's player, who then shoved the Vineland one, and two guys ran after him. So talk about a breakdown in a punt earlier that resulted in a first down, if not for the penalty. And I believe we're probably going to have both fouls on Vineland here. The second being a dead ball foul, so that'll be tacked on. The first being the block in the back at the 41.
So I was informed, for everybody who is potentially waiting for this to be live, you are watching this on playback because we were not afforded a hard line here for internet, and there's no Wi-Fi out here at the field where St. Joe's plays, so this will be on playback on the Vineland Public Schools YouTube channel. It is not live.
Well, thank you for that. Except did they hear us?
And I will say, a nice turnout for a Vineland crowd here start to the school year, first game of the season. I mentioned it on the podcast this week with Coach Guzman, mentioned it on our preseason broadcast. You know, this team starts multiple games on the road. Come out and support them. It will mean that much more when they get back home on September 27th and have that first home game against Clearview, to know that you have supportive fans following you on the road, coming out to these road games. So great turnout from students, staff, parents, siblings, and of course our cheerleaders and the Vineland Marching Clan coming out as well.
Yeah, don't miss the ride. Yeah, we've got a new schedule this year, a lot of new faces. Don't miss the ride with this team.
Calderon hands this one off to Omar. A big-time bruising run from number 20, Omar Davis.
He's got the first down. As I mentioned earlier, that's what gives you headaches if you're on the defensive side or a defensive coach for St. Joe's. Like, you're so stressed to cover these five guys, and then you got a big guy moving through the middle. So you stun a linebacker, and then you can't cover everybody. So you got to sit flat-footed.
First and 10 from the 47. Calderon moves a man in motion, takes the snap, hands it off. Omar Davis bounces off of some defender, stays on his feet, carries him forward with him. And Rich, that's what I like to call a backpack boy. He puts the team on his back. Carried about 4 defenders with him there and turned what more than likely, if he doesn't keep his feet churning, a 2-yard gain into much more, and makes a much more manageable down and distance here for Vineland as they continue to move down the field.
Well, wait till Vineland decides to do something in next week or the week after when Clark's back there too. I've got to assume he's going to clear a path, Davis, for him, or you got to commit to tackling him and then a little flip, and you've got one of the best running backs in South Jersey out there by himself with 2 linebackers held in the middle. So it looks like we got cramps on the field from St. Joe's in 2 areas.
And that is going to be the fun thing with this team this year, because not only do you have Omar Davis out there, not only do you have Charles Clark on the men ready to come back, you also have a freshman running back who's had time tonight in Carlton Thomas, and early on you had another freshman running back in George Figueroa III. You have a 4-headed monster in that backfield. That's exciting when you have a freshman quarterback to just have a circus of running backs that are of different size, of different speeds, and can really make plays happen in a facet of ways for Coach Hendricks in this offense that has looked so dynamic tonight.
And the offensive line is going to do nothing but get better every game they play. And so now between covering the skills, covering the backs, you're giving your line that time they need, and soon they're going to be able to cover a game. I do like how the offensive line isn't just the 5 biggest guys we got and we'll teach them how to play. They have some speed up front, and they're not super enormous, but they're getting off the ball. They're getting off the ball quickly.
2nd and 2 from the 34 for Vineland here after the 8-yard pickup from Omar Davis on that last run. And that's going to be a flag on Vineland.
You know, in a very teachable moment there too, because now when you watch film, you tell your young quarterback, hey, if you see them both going, just say, wait, get reset. You know, you don't expect him to have that in his head. You know, it's just amazing how well he's played today. But that's something that the quarterback pumped the brakes on, because 2 guys can move, but they have to reset.
We're up here in the crow's nest in Hammonton, and Rich, you're getting your first taste of this new broadcasting system that we have in place.
Oh, fantastic.
The way that our executive producer, Doug Diola, and our entire production team have been able to put this together and make things happen on the fly with the situation tonight and just having it all. And first mistake there by Calderon as that one's intercepted by St. Joe's.
Well, great bootleg fake that had him open, just not on target that time.
Like I was saying, we're able to hear Doug in our ears for the first time since I've been on board, since my first year of broadcasting way back in 2020, and just the capabilities we are going to have this season to enhance our broadcast for the viewers at home and everybody watching globally, because we know we have people tuning in from all places around to watch the Fighting Clan every single game night. Can't say Friday night too much this year with the schedule the way that it starts off, but very excited for what we have in store for this year's broadcast and beyond for the football team and every sport happening at Vineland High School.
I can't schedule my side jobs. You know, I got to do a little research.
So
I was coming here tomorrow.
That one's over the head of the quarterback. He launches that one in the direction of nobody.
You're nobody called today.
And if you are watching at home here, make sure that you do subscribe to the Vineland Public Schools YouTube channel. It's youtube.com/@VLDSchoolsTV. That way you don't miss out on any future broadcasts for everything going on in the Vineland School District throughout the 2024-2025 school year and beyond. Be sure to hit that bell icon as well so you know whenever a new broadcast, a new video goes live. That is youtube.com/@VLDSchoolsTV.
Well, the officials confer. Looks like St. Joe's will be moving back. So, like, I'm over 30 years doing this between the TV and the radio, and I said something to my wife today. I'm like, do you ever watch? I'm going to watch tonight. So when I get home, I'm going, was it good, babe? And she's going to lie to me and tell me she watched a little bit and it was really good. For those of you that didn't hear the announcement earlier, of course, we're not live tonight. Beautiful new field. Some brighter lights maybe would be nice, and a little Wi-Fi would get us over the hump. So all the way back, 2nd and forever. Inside their own 5 is St. Joe's. So dive up the middle, gets back to the line of scrimmage, maybe a yard more. So officially, we've got 25 yards to go. So 3rd and 25. It's like the flags have switched this half, and not the ones blowing in the air, the ones in the officials' pockets. So that sideline work has kind of evened it out that the Vineland coaches have been doing. Boy, it could have been 100 degrees today out here. We'd have been miserable. I got a nice fall chill. Here we go again with the 4 receivers down there. Last time they tried to hit a 5-yard out. Look for something up the field this time. There's pressure, nowhere to go. He's hit and dropped in the end zone for another sack for Vineland. No, if Zincraft got the whole sack or if he shared it up, but he was in on that one. But that was that pressure through the middle. Made the quarterback run into that outside defensive end spot. So Vineland's has 2 safeties.
The double deuce.
Hip hop, bam, alakazam.
And this is something I talked with Coach Guzman about on the podcast this week. Guzman's Gridiron that you can get wherever you get your podcasts, and it's viewable on the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel weekly. I said, with new voices in that special teams room, Marcelino is going to still be involved, but he's not as involved as he was last year. It's kind of a different look for the special teams with Coach Henry Garton and Coach Ryan Shelton kind of being the ones at the helm for the special teams. It was going to be a bit of a different look, but they have been aggressive. They have been dominant. And that also comes from Ryan Shelton's defensive background that you see here. When you're inside, an opponent's territory where you can push them back, you're going to get that pressure because Ryan Shelton is not afraid to be aggressive, and he kind of is just from that school of Cliff Smith, and they work in lockstep together. It's very fun watching the aggression that this defense is able to show, and they're not afraid to go after a quarterback, pick up some points there, and now you have an 18-0 lead here in the third quarter.
It'll be nice to have that aggression back full time. There was a point in time where we were about 500, but friends and people that watch would say, I don't care if you win or lose. I want to watch that defense. They are so violent and aggressive.
So we'll see if Saquon Anderson can replicate his first safety punt return. This one's much better kick for St. Joe's. Woo. Mutcherson picks it up, finds a lane, breaks a tackle, and is brought down just shy of the 35-yard line.
I saw we have a player down, so we have a moment. I saw it again on this kick that Vineland are engaging in a block, and when the opponent turns and gives them their back, they're still riding them. And you're going to get a flag on that because the official may not have seen the initial where he turned, but when he turns, just get a hand and ride him or set a pick or away. That ball was all the way in the middle, and we have a flag all the way back here 40 yards away from it because we had a good block. The guy turned his back and tried to take off from us, and we rode them. So that's twice that's happened today. That's got to get cleaned up. We've got to disengage, and I'm sure that'll be taken care of. It's almost better it happened again, so that way it's not something you can overlook. .57, the kicker, lineman both ways. He's been in all day playing a great game and can understand why he's cramping up. And that was something pregame talking to the coaches. We have this older leadership in our skills and our D-backs and linebackers, but a lot of them are going both ways. Are they going to tire out? And we've not seen that at all, even from the linemen that are going both ways. Like, conditioning seems really well. They're able to put it out for 4 quarters. A little bit of a bad exchange as the freshman Carlton Thomas gets it from the other freshman quarterback, but not much there on that one. Got to get Calderon to put my phone in his pocket so I can get credit for all them steps back and forth to the sideline. And that's something you want to do. You want to have your coach talk to him. Now, when he gets to be sophomore, junior, you may be able to just signal in, but you want to check in, reaffirm what he's doing, provide that comfort and that coaching, answer any quick questions.
This one's handed off to Temple on the wide receiver reverse. Stumbles there, but got a nice block and picked up some yards there to give Vineland a little bit of breathing room, as that was one of their worst, if not their worst, starting field position.
Looks like a Vineland player down. So it's going to be third and a short one with 5:05 to go here.
And think you said it best.
I couldn't even buy a 50-50. They didn't even bring them over.
This is an outrage. We need one of those, 2 paper cups and the dental floss and just rail it across the side.
Maybe I'll buy some next time and I'll resell them over here.
As you said earlier, 3rd and 1, the way he's been running, I think it's Omar time.
Yeah. So that's our 4th issue with cramps. So even though it is cool out, I mean, it's constant movement. We mentioned going both ways and being able to do it. This isn't a reflection on not able to, but hopefully just some cramps.
Stay hydrated, fellas. That is Saquon Anderson.
Probably by the time he hits the hash mark, he's going to be all right to walk, and by the time he hits the sideline and lifts it up, it's going to knot up again on him.
Anderson had that great safety punt return earlier in this game that led to Omar Davis getting into the end zone.
Got him set up at the 3. Wasn't Julius Wilson from here, came to us, right?
Yeah, he started at St. Joe, then came to us last year, had to sit out 4 games, and now he's back at St. Joe's.
But able to play game 1.
Insert the Zach Galifianakis math in front of his face gif. All the permutations like Dr. Strange. First down there. Ball at the 30-yard line for Vineland. About 4.5 and ticking to go here in the 3rd quarter. Your Fighting Clan with an 18-0 lead over St. Joe's Hammonton.
No, what I think it is with the light. We're missing the 2 in the corners of the end zone.
That's what it is.
Because the end zones are really dark.
Because they are kind of in lockstep with where we are situated here, and on the reverse side of the field, they're kind of just stationary with the booths.
Yeah, because like at home, you can look all the way across from up top to the other bleachers and see if you recognize somebody. It's one thing I'd like at home, if we ever could do it, is to shoot it from the other side.
Yep.
To be able to see our crowd, because what you see is the visiting crowd, mostly 150 people as compared to the packed house.
Yep.
And a good view of the stadium.
I've always said I wish our booth was on the other side so that we could. Man in motion. Calderon fires, hits his man. Not much there after the catch. That is number 12 for the Fighting Clan, Ben Rojas Torres.
So 3rd and short. Oh, you're going to take a timeout, fellas. So they say Phoebus is now a fullback, right?
Yep.
And it's 3rd and 2?
That it is, 3rd and 3 according to the board, but
let's go, lineman. Former lineman Phoebus. He's either going to lead this up or he's going to get it himself.
I formation for the Fighting Clan. Calderon takes the snap, hands it to Phoebus. And not much.
Got one of the 2
there. Kind of ran into one of his own men there on the line.
So Vineland going to punt it away. It's been Mutcherson all day. Last punt was really good. That was quite a while ago.
I remember Much his sophomore year was also taking some punting duties, so back to the special teams unit. He does have a leg on him, which is always valuable.
Well, look for St. Joe's to try to put some pressure on this one. Used to like to cheat and have a little defensive holding. You pull your guy this way, I pull him that way, and shoot that back or right throw.
Let's see if Vineland goes for the hard count. Tries to get the first down that way. They will not much. Sends this one away. A great punt there by Mark Mutcherson. Takes a favorable St. Joe's bounce. It'll be down around the 40.
That punt sounded like it was freezing out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we're down to 1:14 in the third quarter. Vineland with the 3-score lead, but like to add a little bit. And you know, if you're a defensive coordinator or a defensive coach, you also want to try to get those total net yards once you back the penalties out, back down to where they should be.
And I'm a huge proponent in all sports, and I wish it was that way, but I love score differential.
Yeah.
I think it tells a lot of the story of the game without, really knowing too much. And there can be some obvious, things that happen along the way, but I love a good score differential when I can get it. So let's see if Vineland's defense can attack here.
Nice job.
That's exactly what they do. Big time play for the Vineland defense. That's number 65, Brandon Bedola Lopez.
I've been calling that one wrong. I thought Zinkgraft started wearing 65.
He may have.
So one or the other. He's been in all game. Have to see if he goes to right tackle.
Regardless.
A freshman.
Big play. Great job. And if it is Bedola Lopez, that's sophomore. So
either way.
Underclassmen contributing in a big way tonight for the Fighting Clan.
Yeah, because he was involved in the safety sack, 65.
Second and 13 now for St. Joe's. Oof. Looking to pass. Fires. And what a catch.
Boy, 65's jam on the snap just knocked the offensive tackle back 2 steps. Oof.
Big time play there for St. Joe's. And a big time third down upcoming here for the Fighting Clan on defense. There are 12 seconds to go here in the third quarter. 3rd and 4 from the 48. St. Joe's looking to pass. Quarterback scrambling, and he gets the first down and a little more. And they're going to call a flag for a hit out of bounds. On Aiden Barriento.
Well, this time the left tackle for St. Joe's was tired of getting beat off the line and just pushed to the inside with a big old hole in that hold, and that's what led to that edge being wide open. So St. Joe's on the move, 6 seconds.
Five wide for St. Joe's. QB takes a snap, pressure, and it's through the hands of number 12, Ben Rojas Torres. He knows he had to have that one.
Not an easy one. It's kind of getting to your guy, you overrun the errant throw and have to reach back across your body.
2nd and 10 with 2 seconds to go in the third quarter. Ball at the 30-yard line. I formation. Ball's handed off and taken down by Ron Temple.
There's the flag. Amen. That battle I've been watching, R65 and that left tackle. And this time the left tackle really got him on some skates. His helmet flies off, and then he shoves the Vineland defender. You know, St. Joseph's trying to get something going. They need the break of a couple penalties and have to take advantage of it, but to give 15 back, they stopped talking out there, officials. I don't care that his helmet came off his head. He pushed him after the play. Yeah, way too much talk. It's going to be 10:30 by the time this game is over. Let's go. Ay, ay, ay.
While we wait for the meeting on the field to end, I've had a ton of fun watching number 2 Ron Temple tonight. Not only has he had a great game on the field, but when play has stopped, he's gone over and danced with the cheerleaders. He's had fun on the field. He's just enjoying being back out on the football field with his teammates, with his classmates. And that's, at the end of the day, what it's all about for these student athletes, is they are all together in this, and seeing just pure happiness and joy for a player who's been away from the sport for 2 years like that is a ton of fun to watch.
And I'm sure it's going to be, man, I should have been, I wish I could have been here. Yeah. So our first fourth quarter up 18. I can hear the officials now. Olive Garden? I don't know. What do you think?
Well, the way they're calling this, they might be hitting the overtime button at Buffalo Wild Wings.
That one's sprinting. His wife just called. Thinks he's having an affair. He's on the move.
Fourth quarter action about to get underway here. Kyle Bennett, Rich Scarpa up in the booth with you. Vineland leading 18-0. Defense looking to make a stop here. And
saw a meme, the most intense moment in television of my childhood. Why is the football at the 42? And the chains are going all the way back. There you go. Here comes our down marker. He went with the flow over there. So 3rd and about 22.
St. Joe's under center. Looking to pass.
Yeah.
Fires deep and incomplete.
Blindside rush coming. Just lose your footing. This quarterback does a nice job stepping up and getting rid of it.
Now, I'm sure that'll be another teaching moment there for Coach Cliff Smith and Ryan Shelton. If that was a more accurate pass, need that DB to turn around and be facing the ball.
Yep.
Because the way these officials have been calling the game, that probably would have been a 30-yard penalty.
Yeah, and especially on the longer ball, you have a lot more time than on something quick in the middle. You know, if he would have not pulled around and fought through, you see that in the NFL all the time, throw it short, fight through, get the flag.
4th and 23. And
timeout for St. Joe.
6 seconds into the quarter.
Well, they need something to happen here to get back in it. 18 doesn't sound like a lot, but 8 and 8 is 16, so you need 3 scores. There's a ways to go.
I mean, at the end of the day, you want to break it down. It's a 3-touchdown lead. Although of the scoring chances were safeties for Vineland.
What a way to start for the defense.
That really got the game momentum going. You score those 2 early points as Mason Afanador connected for that safety early in the first quarter. It really just said, hey, we have the ability to do something here and create chaos on the field in all 3 phases, and that's exactly what Vineland has done. So that one is punted away. It's going to take a favorable St. Joe's bounce inside the 10 and down at about the 6-yard line.
Well, the only way to have a 96-yard touchdown is to start there.
So the worst starting field position of the day for Vineland comes with 11:44 remaining in regulation.
And a drive that penalties helped, but penalties also killed St. Joe's drive. Just like a lack of discipline. Both teams have shown a little bit of it. You know, there's been a little bit going on afterward, and especially when you're beating somebody, you know, you can't give the little things. And when you're trying to come back, you certainly can't push somebody at the end of a play and shoot your offense in the foot.
And as we've seen most of this game, Vineland's had fantastic starting field position. I'm intrigued to see how Calderon maneuvers through here with less than ideal situation to begin this drive at the 6-yard line. Temple, the man in motion, he hands it off to him on the wide receiver handoff. Spin move. Ron Temple hit the X button and spun his joystick there to make a move and pick up a lot of breathing room for the Fighting Clan.
Well, the spins were nice, the acceleration was nice, but that cut inside, for so long we watch guys always try to get to the outside, but he cuts inside his block and makes all that happen. When if he strings it out, he's gained 2 and he's tackled out of bounds. Real good vision, and the play design is meant to go there and way to follow your blocking and your rules.
It's a 14-yard pickup for Ron Temple, who has had a fantastic debut for his senior season. 1st and 10 from the 20. Man in motion. Another wide receiver handoff there. And another nice gain for the Fighting Clan. As Ben Rojas Torres carried that one for Vineland.
Vineland looking to get their first win against St. Joe's in quite a while.
On the penalty there as Vineland moved backwards following that run.
One wants to go home, one don't.
2nd and 15 now from the 15. Man just jumped there, so they'll get some yardage back. At least the ref saw that one.
It's got to be the worst when you're the official that puts the ball down all the time. Like, I'm just thinking about my back. I can't put pans on the bottom shelf no more. But what a great opener. A lot of young players, and the freshman quarterback really looks poised and polished.
Elijah Calderon takes the snap, looking to pass. He's being chased. He's got to move. And a slide there, and there is the flag. Just waiting for that one. If they didn't call that, I would have been flabbergasted, and I might have had to Spider-Man swing my way down to the field and ask, where was the flag there, sir?
See, I thought he didn't make any contact, though, did he?
It looked like it wasn't the initial defender, but the one that came in after kind of like leaped and I think landed on him.
He did make contact with him then.
And as he was coming forward, they would probably deem that as potentially leading with your head.
Well, they have been very consistent with anything a little bit late, and Vineland's late hit was up towards the head as the guy dove forward. So St. Joe's elected to punt on a 4th and forever. They've not shown they could make that play and do the right thing to punt at the start of this quarter. But now that penalty and Vineland moving the football has them almost back to where they were.
That's a 15-yard penalty there on a late hit.
And pretty good speed from Calderon. You know, he kept his distance from the pursuit behind. Temple in motion.
Nice motion route there by Ron Temple, and Calderon just overthrows him and kind of threw in between the receivers there. And that's the thing too, you know, for a freshman debut at the varsity level for Calderon, there's been very minimal mistakes. He had the interception, obviously, and then he had the one overthrow, and then that one there kind of off the mark. But overall, I've been very impressed with what I have seen from Elijah Calderon tonight in both, you know, being able to pick up yards with his legs, moving the ball down the field. He's got a great arm on him. And very impressive debut.
For being so young, his football IQ was really there, especially after the first couple drives when he settled in.
And the poise and confidence he's exuded as the game has gone on has been spectacular. As he's looking to pass here, firing deep and out of the reach and overthrowing Mason Afanador.
It just comes out effortless, almost like certain pitchers. You know, the ball just comes out so easy. That ball just comes out so easy. It's not a big throw.
Super smooth.
Yeah. Well, he's had some very good coaching before he got here to get his mechanics that way. Never see him unbalanced when he's throwing.
Right.
Even when he's moving. And without question, I'm sure he's put a lot of extra time in before he even got here.
And I'm sure as anyone knows this Vineland football program, as a freshman, it takes a lot. You have to earn your spot, and especially at the quarterback position, it takes a lot of hard work, poise, and showing that you have what it takes, and Calderon has done just that. Halfback screen there, picking up some good yards. It'll be, I believe, just shy of the first down.
Well, we got away with a big hold on that one.
It was Carlton Thomas on the reception.
Well, all the passing is just click, click, click. I think it's time for a new hat for me. This one took a beating. I dig it out of the closet today.
Well, I do know.
It got Febreze, though. It needed a little Febreze from last year.
I do know our brand new athletic director finally in place. Sylvester Schifalalio posted the team stores are open for everybody to support the Vineland football and Vineland cheerleading teams. So definitely check those websites out if you feel so inclined and obliged to support both teams. They have some awesome apparel available, including some new hats, some hoodies, long sleeve shirts.
And that's the way you got to do it. Now that Ducharme's is not there, but we have a real nice Varsity Bagels there. Former football players. The three Villar brothers. The youngest coaching out of Bridgeton this year, his first year as a line coach. Eric.
And if I'm not mistaken, Dominique Williams back.
Yeah,
in
took over the head job. I work out in Bridgeton, and everybody's really excited about some growth happening there. Full coaching staff this year.
Former student of my mom's.
Great guy, too. Kids love him.
Fantastic.
And Coach Teamer, that was with us last year, that works out at Bridgeton, he stayed. Oh, way to clean
Great
that
hit.
up. This has been the point in the past where Vineland has it controlled and you give up a score. Yeah, you want this defense to start to be able to build on scoreless quarters, scoreless games.
And to your point, in most of those games, Vineland's defense had been on the field for 65, 70, 75% of the game. So at this point, they had been gassed. It's been a lot of balance with offense and defense on the field tonight, which has kept the defense fresh. A great wrap tackle there.
Rayon Carter. Boy, open field all alone. They're the kind of plays you miss that tackle, and it's a foot race, and they're definitely getting on your side of the field before they're brought down, if they're brought down. Outstanding play by Carter.
And I think that was one of the big issues last year with this team, is that the defense would keep you in games and keep things close. But then by the time the end of the game came around, they had been on the field so long that, you know, one big play, because of how exhausted they were, it cost you the game. And that was obviously early on in the season. We had that awesome 4-game win streak to close out the year before the postseason started.
Well, everything just turned so wonderfully there.
That's great pressure there from Noah Cruz.
So we got 4th and 5. Got to think St. Joe's going to go for this one. I do the opposite of a long count. I just go on first sound, catch you on your heels. I always talk about it like playing for Coach Parentazzi is option 0, option 1, option 3, option 4, something like that. 4 plays, left and right, except for the stupid tight end dump passes. But anyway, anytime we ran option 1, which was up the middle, we went on 1. Everything else was on 2. Nobody ever caught on, but we got off the ball on the short yardage.
Timeout called.
People would say, "Oh my gosh, they're so disciplined." Nope. Option 1 on 1. Everything else on 2.
And obviously we've been talking about the defense a ton tonight and how fantastic they have been, but I think it can't go without mentioning the growth, and I think just the overall game planning from Coach Hendricks, his second year as offensive coordinator for this team. Obviously was the defensive coordinator a couple seasons ago when Coach Smith was away. His development as a coach, I think, has just been so fantastic. You know, somebody who played the defensive side of the ball in his playing career, obviously wins a Super Bowl with the New York Giants in 2011, wins an Arena Football League championship as well. He's a defensive-minded guy, but for him to say, when the coaching staff changed over, Coach Guzman comes in, Coach Russo's out, a lot of changes happening. He said, hey, I want to stay here. I'll do whatever you need, Coach. And he takes over as the offensive coordinator last year. And I think he's just kind of learning as he went last year on the offensive side of the ball. And, you know, throughout the preseason, the offseason, and now tonight, what a fantastic game Coach Hendricks has called.
Yeah, not only that, what happened last year? The coaching staff got hired in late August. And then it's like, all right, you're on offense. So you're already 2.5, 3 months behind. So now with time to get it going, we're getting to see some of his creativity.
Should have been a false start, if I'm not mistaken. Yep.
It's one of them things I think they'll eventually take out, that you can come up and, you know, fake like you're going and get a twitch from an offensive player. But it works. 4th and 10. Oh, get it, get it, get it.
And there it is. Mason Afanador comes up with the turnover. He's running.
He didn't touch him. He didn't touch him. Don't back up that silly call. He didn't touch him. They're going to call a clip around the 10. He didn't touch him.
3 flags fly in on that play.
Well, that's what happens. Somebody throws it, the other guys throw it to back them up on their silly call. Did not touch him.
If anything, I think the worst performance of the night is this refereeing crew.
I got your back, Steve. I got you, Phil. You're buying the apps. Yeah, I can't wait till I can get to this part in the game. Or even, I'll just watch the game, Phil. But, you know, there's no contact. And again, that's the flag you get when it's 30-0. This is 18-0, and there's 7 minutes left.
A lot of home cooking tonight. Nonetheless, great interception from Mason Afanador, his first on the season, and he's the type of player that will come up as kind of your ball hawk and will not be afraid to make those type of plays and run up on a play that is lobbed up in the air like that and create a turnover for you. As Calderon fires as he's being hit and into the end zone.
Call an incomplete.
That's another play I'd like to see there. It looked like he corralled that one pretty well. Nonetheless, even though it wasn't complete, great throw while being pressured and hit by Calderon.
And way to high point that ball, too.
Into double coverage.
Defenders. Ben Rojas Torres really got up there. Looked fantastic on that.
I would do that play again. Mason Afanador is the receiver to the bottom of your screen, wearing number 9 this season for the Fighting Clan. Ron Temple in motion, handed off to Omar. It's Omar time.
Yes.
Into the end zone. Number 20, Omar Davis, his second touchdown on the evening.
An angry run and an angry runner.
Kyle Brandt, where are you?
Breaking tackles all over.
What a debut
We've
for
got
2024 this season for Omar Davis.
We've got to get that at the home stadium.
Oh,
Somebody,
yeah.
that little whistle.
24-0 your score pending the PAT.
Man, what a fun run that was.
And there have been so many dynamic plays and players tonight, Rich, but man, Omar Davis has been a focal point for this team. 2 touchdowns tonight. And has been spectacular.
And he wasn't in the first quarter, but as Vineland's offense started getting going.
High snap. And the PAT is no good.
That's something Vineland can work on too for the PATs. Both times, the last 2 times, pressure up top like they're going in a rhythm that the defense knows. You know, so we got to find a different way to cue the ball. Really shouldn't be much of a communication. Maybe you give it 2 seconds before you snap after they're ready, or 3. You got to, almost like holding a runner, you got to mix it up a little bit.
Yeah, and that was a high snap there too, so definitely something that Coach Henry Garten and Ryan Shelton want to work on special teams wise, I'm sure.
So after a back and forth field possession, Vineland held the first quarter. It's just been all Vineland after. It starts with the passing game and spreading the field, and then just power running in the middle. There's not enough people to defend what we're doing on this St. Joe's team. Now, we will be facing other teams that bring a different set of skills to defense that may match up better with us, but a little undersized on the line and on the inside, mostly the inside Guys, that's a big dude to tackle when you're weighing in at 160 pounds. So Vineland's thoughts have been a high kick down to the 30. Let's see if we do it again.
Bit of a squib kick there as it takes a great roll for Vineland, picked up just outside the 20 by St. Joe's. Return man stays on his feet, and Ron Temple makes the play to get him out of bounds and stop the run from continuing. And we've got some extracurriculars going on the field. Not what you want to see.
That happens with youth.
It was Aiden Barriento.
He's going to get it from Goose now. The message is you are not more important than this team. Yeah, he's probably going to be ejected for next week, too. I mean, squaring up and throwing a punch.
And if it's not from the West Jersey Football League standards, it'll be from Coach Goose himself, because Coach Goose has a standard for this team and a standard for his players, and above all else, it's to show composure and to not give in to things like that. And it's just a selfish play on both sides, from both the St. Joe's player who was involved and Aiden right there. But you have to be more informed. Discipline is one of the things that Coach Goose preaches for this program, and that was a big-time lack of discipline, and rightfully so. He is not happy, to say the least.
Also not a freshman, a junior, and he wasn't alone either. Another Vineland player got into it with the one he was getting into it with, and if you get that reputation, you're going to have so many more flags thrown on your team.
And I will say it was number 42, Barry's Hill, who came in and kind of tackled the St. Joe's player. I don't necessarily think he was trying to get into it in terms of what the extracurricular was going on there. I think he was trying to help his teammate get that player off of him, a sophomore, underclassman, kind of just trying to do his best to negate things. But again, something you can't get yourself involved in, because then you're part of that scrap there. And
yeah, it's a simple rule. Like, you're only touching your guys. You're only grabbing your guys.
And while we wait for everything to be sorted out, do want to let everybody know our next game is on Saturday, September 7th.
Why do you stare at me when you say? Because you know, it kind of makes me feel bad. I was going to come here tomorrow night. Maybe I'll come back.
Weird start to the season nonetheless, as Vineland will go Thursday, Saturday, Friday, Saturday for their games. Or I'm sorry, Thursday, Saturday, Friday, Thursday.
Oh, my gosh.
It's like
There's
Maction.
no way. There's no way I'm remembering that.
But we will keep you up to date across the board on social media with everything, and obviously on Guzman's Gridiron. But next week's game, Saturday, September 7th at 1 p.m. Eastern Time at ACIT, a new opponent on the schedule for the Fighting Clan. As they continue this road stretch here, 4 straight road games to start the season.
Oh, we got a lot of new assistant coaches also, and I was talking about new line coach who's done a really good job, and I'll have his name for you next week, but Guzman was like, yeah, he's taking over the line. You know, the other guys will still be there helping him back, but he just got out of school. He's come back. He's done a nice job with them. And I think our biggest question mark coming in was the offensive line. And the first drive, it was a really big question mark, but they got together. They started playing well. They provided blocking in the running game. Also gave the quarterback time. Great play calling by coach to have him rolling out once in a while to some strength, to have some protection, and an outstanding opening debut for freshman quarterback. I mean, Calderon has been poised beyond his years.
Yeah, we mentioned it earlier too. Donovan Bennett, an alumni of Vineland High School and of this football team, now on the staff this year, helping out on both sides of the ball on the offensive and defensive lines. Somebody who has experience playing those positions, and I can't emphasize enough how much of a big addition that is to this coaching staff for Coach Goose. So we'll get back to game action here now as the clock starts to run. Following the extracurriculars that occurred there. They fake the handoff, rolling out is St. Joe's. They fire deep.
Wow.
It's incomplete.
Defended perfectly.
It's Rayon Carter in there, as well as
Cruz?
looks like it. No, Mason Afanador.
Just to tip it away like that. Just fantastic coverage.
Rayon Carter's another one that we haven't talked about too much, but he's part of this veteran-laden defense and that secondary in particular, who has been with this team for so long and has just developed so well with this nucleus of the Vineland defense and the Vineland secondary in particular, with Mason Afanador, Saquon Anderson, Mark Mutcherson, Xavion Diaz, and the rest of those boys out there.
St. Joe's has thrown the ball quite a bit tonight, and we've not seen that blown coverage. We've not seen that player slip and leave somebody wide open. From what we can see up here, no broken assignments, no misalignments. Fantastic job. The guys off the ball.
Flags fly. Pass is
wow.
Incomplete.
Beautiful. Got your head around right at the last second and get your hand in there.
That was Rayon Carter again.
That's 3 plays in the last 5 he's made. So Vineland declines the penalty on St. Joe's. Now we're down to 4:37, but it's 4th down and 8 for St. Joe's. Phoebus is coming. They aren't counting on him coming. So the offense will take over, 4:32. That's what you talked about pregame, about how you can disguise things. That time they moved the back over because we're showing the outside backer blitzing off the top, and Phoebus sneaks in at the end and stunts at the bottom. Nice job.
Got a little nervous there. Mason and Fanador got tangled up.
It's one way to call attention to yourself, even if you don't want to get a flag. Throwing your hands up. .330 to go. Vineland just trying to take this time off the clock and celebrate an opening day win. There's a run up the middle. About 2 or 3, make it 3rd and short.
And I think that's what Coach T.O. has done such a great job last year and this year being on this staff as the running backs coach. No matter who's in there at running back, we've seen a stable of backs over the last 2 years come out of the backfield for Vineland. They have just run hard and they don't stop moving their feet. And I think that is so key, especially at the high school level, where you're learning how to kind of, attack the position. Keeping running backs moving their feet is so pivotal to just picking up tough yards, and that's something that Coach T.O. has really emphasized no matter who is in the backfield taking those handoffs.
And it's gotten better every year that people are finishing square to the defense, extending forward, instead of that lateral movement where you don't get the 2 yards by going forward at the end. They're really heading straight north and south up the field. So looked like a false start on Vineland. It was 3rd and 1. Make it 3rd and 6. So next week, ACIT, they didn't have a game this week, I don't believe.
I don't believe so.
So that'll be their first. And you talk about having some young players getting their first start and some freshmen their first high school game, going into a program that hasn't ever played a game. So this tune-up really looks good moving forward to next week.
Next week will be ACIT's opener.
Carlton Thomas, the freshman, with a nice spin move.
He's had limited touches, but the touches, he's made the best of them, and he's also looked like a dynamic piece as a freshman for this stable of running backs this year for the Fighting Clan.
Real good vision, doesn't miss a hole, doesn't outrun a block. There it is, that little seam. It's going to have the first down, it looks like.
And when you have a group of running backs that give you so many different looks, like it just makes your offense that much more dynamic. And this is a game where Charles Clark isn't even suited up yet because he's still recovering from injury and everything. He should be back soon from what I have heard.
So that Vineland gets the first down. It's just a minute to go. Davis checks back in at that running back spot. As I look on the Vineland sideline, everybody healthy. Trainers' tables folded up. We've got 44 seconds, maybe 2 plays to get out of this one healthy.
And in motion, receiver handoff. Lost the football, but recovered by Vineland, and going the other way was Omar Davis.
It's his first run in a while, didn't end up in the end zone.
Yeah.
And what you were talking about was finishing as we count down. That time he had to run laterally, and you could see you could tackle him, but when he's going forward, not at all. 7, 6, 5, and so on. Great job. Vineland Fighting Clan with a 24-0 win. Boy, it got better as the game went on.
Just a beautiful play-by-play, drive-by-drive, quarter-by-quarter execution in all 3 phases by the Fighting Clan tonight. Offense looked great with a freshman quarterback at the helm. Calderon was fantastic. Omar Davis with 2 touchdowns. The special teams had some blunders there that will definitely be cleaned up, and easy to clean up blunders. But the return game was also sensational. That kind of leveled things out there. That really helped Vineland get in great field position throughout the entire night. And Xavier Diaz came down with the big-time touchdown in the corner of the end zone as well. The defense came to play, pitch a shutout.
And the offense showed they can run it, they can throw it. You know, I got a lot more out of the offense than I thought I would see tonight. So fantastic job, not just by the coaches preparing, but the players executing what they've worked on. And these young players come in from the various midget programs really knowing what they're trying to do. Just outstanding job. I can't wait till Saturday.
At ACIT is the next game. Big thank you to Doug Diola and our entire production team for making tonight's broadcast that you will see on delay happen. And of course, shout out to our marching clan and our cheerleaders for coming out for week 0 action. For Rich Scarpa, I'm Kyle Bennett. Your final score here from Hammonton, 24-0. Your Vineland Fighting Clan start 2024 1-0. We'll be back on Saturday. Be sure to subscribe to Guzman's Gridiron wherever you get your podcasts, and subscribe to the Vineland Public Schools YouTube channel. Everybody have a wonderful weekend, and we will see you Saturday afternoon from ACIT as Vineland looks to go 2-0 to start 2024.